Hey guys, so I was watching The Hunger Games last week and I love the movie. It kind of messed with my head a little bit. It's pretty intense. I don't know if you've watched it all the way through, but it's got some stuff. But in the course of watching it, I was really inspired to go back and make my own longbow. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so next up, we are gonna flatten this board. Alright guys, next step is going to be to use the thickness planer to give your board equal thickness throughout the full length of the board. Alright guys, next up we're going to cut our width on the table saw. So we're going to do 1 3/4 inches width for the overall part of the bow, and we're going to do that now. So here we go. For safety purposes, when working with your table saw, you always want to use a push stick, whether you use the gripper or a push stick in general. It's just something that allows you to keep your fingers as far away from this blade as humanly possible. Alrighty guys, next up you got to measure your bow. There's a lot of different measurements and it takes a couple minutes, but not terrible. And once you've got everything marked out, you'll connect all your dots and then you'll head on over to the bandsaw. Alrighty, next up we are going to take our bow over to our bandsaw and we're going to cut out the rough shape of the bow. So instead of looking like a giant rectangle, it's going to moderately resemble a bow. It's going to have at least the outline of it, and then we'll move on to shaping it. So next up, we are gonna take our center line from the thickness of our bow, and we're gonna measure 1/4 inch out from the center to allow us to taper these lines and get a nice even taper throughout the length, allowing the bow to bend as we tiller it. I do not have the steady hands of a doctor, unfortunately. And then we're going to take it over to the bandsaw and we're going to just shave off this little excess bit. Alrighty guys, and now we're popping back on over to the bandsaw, which is lucky because it's my favorite tool. Alrighty, so now that we've gotten the full shape of our bow cut out, we're going to add our handle. Okay guys, now that the handle is all glued on, we are going to take it on over to the router table and we are going to clean up this joint. Now that we've got the handle on, the handle shaped, the full outline of the bow rough shaped, we are now going to do all of the fine-tuned shaping. Alright, so canary is one of my favorite woods of all time. It has like an incredible array of colors presented throughout each board. So each board looks a little different. Each board brings in different colors. It also happens to smell absolutely incredible. If I could make this into a perfume, I would. Coming in on the end of the process, made the handle shape. This is one option of a handle shape. You can either make it bulbous or you can make it concave. So I chose this handle because I wanted to see if the bulb would feel better against my hand. So far, it's a little bit big for me, so I'm gonna be taking it down a good bit. I may even wind up going fully concave on it and just taking out this whole center section here and making it just supported on either side of my hand as opposed to a big bulby guy in the middle. But that's totally dealer's choice. Once you've rasped your little notches for your string, you're gonna rasp out your little arrow spot. Now, you don't have to do this. This is totally optional. I find that it makes it a lot easier to keep your bow straight while firing, but it's 100% not essential. And again, just like the shape of your handle is dealer's choice. Now that I've worked up a nice glistening sweat with planing this all down to a point where we can finish it up and get bending, I'm now going to take my homemade wax and I am going to throw some finish on this bad boy. We now have the finished bow. I could not be more stoked about this. The whole process was super, super fun. So I can't wait to shoot it. So let's do it.